What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson from Dinger Dudes, and today I have a very special episode with returning guest Erik Ostberg. Erik, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. Congratulations on getting drafted by the Loco Beach Coconuts of the Banana Ball League, because I know the past 2 years you've spent it in the American Association of Professional Baseball over there. But congrats on like your new ventures in baseball, and how's it been since the last time we spoke to you last year?
It's been a crazy ride, man. I mean, 2 years now in the American, really grinding it out. Tons of great memories with some great teammates in that league, and just ready for something different, man. Ready for a new challenge. The league's growing. They're if you look at the draft board, they're making a push and they're recruiting some really real dog players that have a lot of minor league experience. A bunch of my teammates are in the draft. Lamar Sparks, Nico Holsizer, Joe Gray, David Griffin, guys that I've played with, played against, trained with. Guys that have just made a living in this game for 8, 9, 10 years, who are coming to make an impact in that league. And I think that the model is starting to evolve for them, and we're trying to recruit guys with experience and raise the overall product, guys that are willing to hustle, lay it out, and create fans in the process.
I mean, I love banana ball, and I think you'd be a perfect fit, for the local beach coconuts. I mean, the last time we spoke, you were in the American Association. Before I get into, I guess, the banana ball aspect of stuff for your career, I want to ask you, because the last time we spoke, you were part of the Milwaukee Milkmen, but then you ended up getting traded to the Red Hawks over in
Yep.
the American Association. I want to ask you personally, what was it like, I guess, getting the call for, the whole trade aspect in the American
Yeah.
Association?
The trade was first time I've ever been traded mid-season, so that was definitely an adjustment. And I went over to Fargo. I mean, a great locker room, right? Like Chris Coast, guy that played in the big leagues, is the manager, won a World Series with the Phillies back in the day, and they just had a really good locker room. They were winning, and I was kind of hopping in for the stretch run there at the end. And on paper, it didn't go as I planned. On paper, it wasn't great, but I mean, I think I swung it better than the numbers showed. But at the end of the day, like I was just there to contribute to try to win and be a good teammate and help on the catching side. And we ended up getting to the semifinals. We lost in the semifinals in game five. Um, I mean, it was a good run, man. They got a great thing going over there. A lot of passionate fans in Fargo. That's a pretty historic team. One of the only pro teams really in a large mile radius. Like it's one of the only pro baseball teams in North Dakota. I think it's the only one. So they have a pretty big following, and it was definitely kind of there was a different vibe from Milwaukee. Milwaukee's awesome for a lot of reasons, but then there was sort of more of an old-timey baseball fan feel out in Fargo. So yeah, man, it was a good roll run. A lot of great players in the team. Lamar Sparks in that team, like I just mentioned, he just jumped into banana ball as well. So things are shaking in the baseball world right now.
That's awesome to hear. Now, obviously, you made the transition over to North Dakota. Before I ask about the North Dakota aspect, I kind of want to backtrack to the Milwaukee Milkmen side. You had the opportunity to play in the Home Run Derby in the American Association. I mean, I saw you out there hitting absolute nukes. I mean, I saw all the stuff on Instagram with guys like, Dylan Thomas out there as well.
Yep.
What was it like getting the opportunity, getting your second All-Star nod for the American Association? And also being having the opportunity to play in the home run derby for that league.
Yeah, I was one of my goals, man. I mean, obviously you go to independent ball, you want to have a good year, you want to contribute, and yeah, the previous season I was in the All-Star game, but was not in the home run derby. I watched the home run derby look like a ton of fun, so I was fired up to take part in it. And I'd never been in like a professional home run derby until that point, so I was just something that I'd like to say that I did. It was just a great time. And Kyle Martin won the home run derby, and he's in banana ball as well now, also a draft pick. So. Just kind of funny how these things are working out.
I mean, it was an absolute stellar show that, I personally watched. And I kind of want to ask you, obviously, during the All-Star break, you got traded over to Fargo and you talked about, the whole North Dakota aspect of having that old-timey feel. But I want to ask you, obviously, you see places like Coors Field, the ball is flying. What was it like playing in an atmosphere, I guess, like a mountainy atmosphere in North Dakota compared to
Yeah,
Milwaukee?
it's a tough place to hit, man. The air is thick. It's It's just a place that is the ball doesn't fly there like it does in Coors. However, the vibe of the game is really good. They have a really well-known announcer there who does a great job. He really brings a lot of soul to the games, and they have a really cool, in-game entertainment, experience that they have this guy, the super fan, I think they call him, and he does a great job during the games, and so like the whole vibe of it is fantastic. It's a really, it's a good area to have a team, and I mean they're gonna have a lot of success. Like Chris does a great job running it, and I mean it's only gonna get better for them. It's all good. They're doing a fantastic job. They do a great job building the roster. So yeah, I mean it's I wish the best of luck to them for sure, man. They're a great organization, and um, you know, fun place to play.
I mean, that's absolutely awesome to hear. Now we have Andrew Jefferson and Chase Jefferson joining. And I want to ask you one more question, Eric, before I toss it over to Andrew and Chase over here. Obviously, you told us your bright spots about playing in the Milwaukee area. I want to ask you, North Dakota. I mean, you talk about like, the old-timey feel and I guess
Yeah,
the atmosphere out there. Was there any, not a lot of people know about North Dakota. So I want to ask you about North Dakota yourself.
yeah.
Like, what's the go-to like I guess food spots or attractions in
Well,
North Dakota if
was
anybody's
only there.
interested?
I was only there for like 3 weeks, 3, 4 weeks. So, Shields is like a place that I never heard of, and that's like a Dick's on steroids, basically. And they have everything under the sun at that store. They got like cards, like every type of outdoor equipment, outdoor brand you could ever think of. They got a Ferris wheel in there. That was pretty crazy. I thought like fun place to walk around if you're like into like um, you know activities that require you being outside in any capacity. Like they have everything that you could want. They had candy, toys. I mean, it was like endless. It was like a Toys R Us, Dick's Sporting Goods, collectibles. It was a pretty crazy spot. I went and killed some time over there. They have a lot of like cool diners and stuff. It's very flat, at least in like what I noticed. Like it's very flat. A lot of like you know, there's the insects are just bigger than they are, and where I'm at in Massachusetts, it's an outdoorsy area, a lot of trees, a lot of beautiful forests, and it's an outdoorsman's dream, I would say, out there. There's a lake that's about an hour from where I was. I don't know the name of it, but a lot of people were referring to this lake out near Fargo. That's apparently a super popular spot to fish and just be out and about on the boats and stuff. So. Yeah, it's an outdoorsman dream, is what I would say. I'd say it's worth a trip for a lot of people.
Dicks on steroids is an amazing way to put Shields. I've been to Shields once, Colorado. Personally, I'm not a big heights guy, so I didn't go on the Ferris wheel. But honestly, Shields, amazing place. It's like a couple floors. I wish they had some down here in Georgia. Now I want to toss it over to Andrew Jefferson, who's a big Falcons Atlanta fan. For some questions, I guess for you, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, first of all, I just want to comment on what you said about North Dakota. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've been to Wyoming before and I've heard that North Dakota is a little bit like Wyoming, and I absolutely love it out there. I mean, Wyoming is one of the best places I've ever visited because, like you said, if you're an outdoorsman, that's just and the same with Oregon. Like I've been to Oregon before as well, and it's just if I could live out west over there, I think I absolutely would, just because I'm a nature guy and I just absolutely love everything about it. So North Dakota is probably a place I'm gonna hit up, and then maybe I can enjoy the experience of that place you guys are talking about because I've never been myself. But I just want to go and just start asking about Banana Ball. Now, first of all, welcome back to the show. It's glad to have you again. But I want to get your input on something that I haven't really engulfed myself in a lot of Banana Ball over. I mean, I know it's a growing sport and I've kind of tried to adapt to it, because now ESPN is taking a handle on Banana Ball, which I think is great because I think it deserves a publicity. But I know Banana Ball, it changes. They try to add some new things every year, like new teams, new squads, new locations, all that kind of stuff. So going into this new season, is there anything new that we can expect that we didn't get the previous year?
Obviously, you have the 16 format opposed to the 14 format of
Right.
last year. And then the draft, like that just happened, obviously. Every roster on paper looks really strong. And there should be, the way that the games are set up, and I'm still learning myself, but winning innings versus total runs, like you're setting up
Yep.
the games to create pressure situations, to create close and tight leverage pitches. Some of the rules with the walk and running, ball force sprint, they call it, right? Like that creates action and value in strike throwing, which increases the amount of times guys are making contact. Bat to ball skill is a huge factor in the game. It's a rhythm game. The hitter can't step out of the box. Like these are all things that I have not played, in a setting such as that. However, I think it fits a
Right.
lot of the skills that I have, and I think that the players that we drafted across the teams, especially with some of their pedigrees and athletic ability, could create some like really wild game situations, right? And that's the whole idea is, I think if we can create some really intense game environments and get the fans interested in who could win the game, right? Like obviously it is a show, right? It's entertainment, or there's going to
Right.
be those side pieces that are those set pieces of entertainment that are going to happen. But I think if you could also say and pull in a casual fan and say, hey, this is a really good game with good players that are playing hard and playing to win, like increasing that who's going to win the game kind of edginess will be, I think, a step up this year.
Awesome. And I like all the points you added because I know you said like those rules that you have to get equipped with. You feel like you have the skill set for it, which I think is great. And I like all these rules that Banana Ball keep trying to, like you said, it is entertainment, but it's also competitive at the same time. And that just makes for a very interesting watch. But another curiosity that I have, just kind of adding on to what you just said, is for new players who are drafted into the league like you and they have to adapt to these new rules that aren't like your regular baseball game, what are the practices like in preparation for these shows or these events so
I'm
you
not
guys
sure.
can learn?
I'm not really sure yet.
Okay,
I just got drafted, so I don't know for sure.
which is fair.
But I know that we have. I've talked to some players that have been in it. I know that we have. There's a rehearsal period, and then there's baseball practice as well. So you're kind of like hitting two things. You have like two sides to it almost, and honestly, man, I think it's going to be a lot more baseball than maybe people on the outside think, and maybe
Okay.
that I thought, which is a good thing. Like that, I'm very into that. I think, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know yet. I'll be able to report back to you in mid-January,
Which
when
is
I get
fine,
down.
and I wasn't sure if you were gonna have that answer for me or not because you were just drafted. But it's gonna be interesting because that means we have another reason to bring you back on the show. So that'd be
That's
Yeah,
great.
true.
bring it in the back end. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right,
All
Chase, you
right.
got any questions?
Yeah, so I know, like you mentioned, you just got drafted, so I'm sure you might be looking ahead to like maybe like your development and performance aspect, and maybe what some things in terms of your skill or performance that you might have to personally develop to prepare for a banana ball. So
Right.
I guess, is there anything specific you're working on your game or you plan to work on your game that you might have to shift a little differently to play banana ball?
Yeah, obviously I'm going to try to increase my, consistency and like my ability to trick plays. Obviously I'm a
Right.
catcher. I'm a catcher, so the trick play is a little bit less reliant in that position. But that's something that I'm really going to hammer just in the facility in my workouts, like, exchanging the baseball from a multitude of angles, being able to execute things with some more flair than maybe I'm used to. And I'm excited about that challenge, which is why it kind of became appealing to me. It's like, hey, when I watch these guys play, man, some of these infielders are doing stuff that's like,
It's
I mean,
incredible.
that's really hard. I mean, they're 20-hour, 30-hour tricks that require a lot of time invested to be able to pull them off in a live scenario because no ground ball is the same, no pitch is the same. So to be able to pull these things off with fluidity and confidence and execute maybe an out is like very impressive. And looking across our roster, I mean, we got some freak shows, man. Like guys that we drafted with just a wide variety of skills, a wide variety of experience, ages. And I think like we just got like a fun group, a lot of down home boys that are ready to hustle, work hard, excited to get out in the field and just appreciate playing. So, you know, I'm gonna be working on my trick play stuff. I'm gonna be working a lot, just arm plays, being able to toss the ball around at random times, back picks, executing steals. Gonna be a lot more stealing in this game environment. And those are some of the things I'm gonna be emphasizing in my training over the next roughly 2 months.
Absolutely. I hear the comparison all the time that, banana ball is the Harlem Globetrotters of basketball or of baseball.
For
But,
baseball.
if you know baseball, you can't script that. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. So if you're going to do something like that, pull out a trick play or do something that's entertaining for the fans, you have to be ready to do that on the spot. It's a situational thing, you know. It's
Yeah,
so like you have to be ready. You have to know what you're going to do, and you have to be
Right.
sure in yourself that you can perform that certain trick. And like you said, I've seen some plays that these infielders and even outfielders have made, and it's like to do that on the spot, to have that confidence that you can pull it off in front of all these fans, knowing you're on a national stage now because of how big banana ball is growing. It's incredible, and I
yeah.
20 to 30 hours. I mean, I can expect that's the amount of work you have to put in for something like that.
Yep.
So it's definitely a lot of work. It's impressive stuff you see.
Yeah, that's what is interesting about it, man. Like that's really, that's what impresses me as a player, right? Like because you don't know how the ground ball is going to be hit. So like you've got to be
Exactly.
able to make a determination as that ball is hit. Like is it, you go into your bag of tricks based on the speed of the ball, the hops,
Yep.
the speed of the runner. I mean, there's so many variables, right? And so that is a specialized skill, and I'll give these guys a lot of credit on that. I'm excited to watch our guys, work on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a situational thing. You can't script that. You can't script banana ball. But another question I want to ask you now that you're part of Banana Ball, which congratulations, by the way. And you get to be a part of this journey, a thing that an entertainment thing that's growing more and more each day. So let's say, in your perspective, in your opinion, where do you see Banana Ball in, let's say, the next 5 years?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, man, they're making a really big push to recruit, players sort of my ilk, right? Like I'm 30 now, been in pro ball 9 years, fringe, going to spring training, looking for that next opportunity. There's I see a path where they might be able to incentivize guys to come out of AAA and go play banana ball, right?
yeah.
Like because it is more of a holistic experience. Like your job is not to necessarily have a good average and have a good WAR, but can you keep people engaged and be good in one-on-one fan interactions and show them something that maybe they haven't seen or provide excitement in a variety of ways. And I think that is enticing to some type of players that just might be want something a little different, right? Like, there's less and less spots in affiliate baseball, and there's a lot of good players that don't have jobs that
Mm.
have a lot to offer. So the roadmap feels real strong, and they're adding teams, right? They have the draft.
Yep.
I mean, their marketing is second to none, unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Jesse, the guy, the yellow hat, Jesse, everybody
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
him. I mean, he's a smart guy. We've had a couple meetings, and I mean, he's passionate, smart, detail oriented, and so it's hard to see, how it wouldn't work, right? I mean, Jackie Bradley, first pick of the draft, right? That's a guy that has all the experience in the world, who has played in the World Series and done all these things, and that's a guy who's
Right.
saying, "Hey, I'm going to come play a season and commit to growing it." Like, I think that's only going to set a domino effect further as the years go on.
And just think about in terms, sorry, Jackson, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just want
No,
to
it's all
add
good.
to like in terms of growing the game of baseball altogether, because you look at what the MLB's been doing, it's fascinating. In the last few years, they've added the pitch clock, they've added the runner on second rule when it comes to extra innings, just anything they can implement to try to get the game to speed up a little bit more, so that way it can attract a younger audience. But then you got banana ball coming into the game, and I feel like that in and of itself is attracting the wide variety of these young kids who originally weren't into baseball and now love the sport, not because of the MLB's rule change, but because of what banana ball's doing and how interactive it is as well. So I really do think it's not just good for banana ball and just its fan base, but I feel like it's good for the game of baseball altogether because there's kids all over the world falling in love with baseball because of what banana ball is putting out there. And I think it's really great to see.
Yeah, I can
Sorry.
agree with that, man.
Yep.
Now, Eric, I actually do have a couple more questions for you related to Banana Ball. Now, I've had interviews with Noah Nisnik and Vincent Chapman, the dancing umpire, and I asked them this, and Chase hit it right on the nose. He said, developing skills and adapting to Banana Ball. Eric, Banana Ball comes with dancing. So I want to ask you, what
Good
is your
question.
go-to dance on the field when it would come to Banana Ball? And I guess if you could implement a new rule to Banana Ball that I guess hasn't already been created that you know of, what would it be and why?
The answers would be I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, so as far as the dancing, right? I don't have any apprehensions. We're as a team, we're dancing. It's something we're doing together. Um, but I'm gonna help. I'm gonna rely on some of the younger players in the team and some of the other staff in the banana ball world to guide me as to how they think I should dance and what my skills should be. And I'm excited to figure out what my role in that is going to be because at the end of the day, I don't really have like a signature dance move. Like I'm going to try to brush up on what's hot right now, what people think is funny, something I can do that looks smooth enough. And but like again, it's a team thing, so it'll be kind of fun. Everybody will be kind of laughing through it, I'm sure, and then we'll create some good stuff. So, um, and then on the rules side, I mean, again, I got to still get to know all the rules and play myself. Like I've played one scrimmage at the pre-draft workout under their rules, and I actually had a great time. And that's so I don't know. I'll have to play a couple games to kind of see what I think. Like because I think that there's some different edges, and I was telling the coaches this. I think there's some different edges in this game of banana ball, like like the value of strike throwing and limiting walks, and then just sort of hey, like if you pull off more trick plays at the end of the game, you get another point onto your team, right? So it's like a way to like create leverage on in the game, and so it's like there's strategy in that and the golden batter and saying, hey, like, you can hit anybody a certain time. Like there's so many like different strategies. And I think different game situations will come up that I'll think are pretty interesting for sure. So I'll be interested to dissect that and watch how it plays out.
I'm super excited to see, your future plays on the field. I guess, adapting to the strategies of banana ball because it's very, very hard. And, it's like implementing a lot of work, having to do these routines for the dances and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to see, Erik Ostberg out on the field with the Loco Beach Coconuts. And I kind of have a backup question also relating to banana ball because we talked about, I guess, developing the skills to the trick plays, the dances. Banana Ball has a lot of famous celebrities on as guests
Mhm.
each game throughout every single stadium that they go to. If you had a dream guest or a dream celebrity, I know you're a big Boston guy because, we spoke with you last year. You were talking about, your love for Trot Nixon and the Boston Red Sox and over there. Is there any, like, maybe Boston celebrity or celebrity that you would want to do a game with?
Well, Boston celebrities, I mean, I would love to. The guy that I would love to meet that was on that banana game last year was 50 Cent. That was a guy that I used to like worship growing up, right? Like just watching some of the clips from last year, like he was at a game or two. That would be cool to just meet him. Like I'm sure there's gonna be guys that like I never like thought of, and it's like, oh, this is this guy. Like that's sweet, Like, um, I'm just kind of excited to see how it plays out off the top of my head. Like thinking about who they've had, like I'm kind of like a niche guy. Like I love like podcasts and like collecting cards. Like I'm kind of into like nerdy stuff. Like so the people that I would want to meet, maybe it's not like the same, but I think like 50 Cent would be a great one. Like that's a guy I used to have like a poster of when I was a kid, like all the CDs
Nice.
and stuff, and he carried me through my younger years.
I can imagine it. I can see, him walking up with in the club, with a bat in his hand, doing some dances and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was gonna say, I mean, you're a Boston guy. Why not Mark Wahlberg? I mean, Mark
Yeah,
Wahlberg is
yeah,
a
no,
big,
that's a great one. That's a great one. Yeah, that guy's a beast, man. That
yeah.
guy's
I
a
mean,
monster.
yeah. And you were talking about podcasts. Why not have the Dinger Dudes guys out there?
Yeah,
I
let's
feel
get them
like we
out
can,
there, man.
Hey,
we
man.
can, we can hit
Wow.
400-foot bombs. I mean, no, I can't.
Hell yeah.
I'm an athletic liability. I mean, that's what they all call me. So that's why I
Athletic
do
liability.
podcasting, not anything athletics. So.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's not bad.
To understand. But Chase, Andrew, y'all have any other questions for Erik? Y'all have?
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and just throw this out there, just out of curiosity. I haven't really seen, and I know the schedule's still in development right now, so I haven't really seen all the slates of where Banana Ball is going to be traveling this year. But is there any, I don't know, you might not have any information on this quite yet, but we saw Banana Ball, what they did last year in their stadium series. They were playing baseball in places I never thought I'd see a baseball game, like Death Valley, for example. I just thought I'm a big college football fan, so seeing a baseball game in Death Valley was incredible. And I don't know if you can see, but Del Campbell Stadium, there's a poster right there. big Florida State fan, and I know Banana Ball is going to be at Del Campbell Stadium for the new upcoming season. So, is there a place in particular that you know that
Yeah.
you guys will be hitting up that you're really
Yep.
excited to play?
Yeah, so that's our schedule. The coconut schedule is actually out.
Okay,
It's on our Instagram, and we're going to Gillette. So as a Massachusetts
dope.
guy,
Yep.
Wow,
playing at Gillette is
There we
gonna
go.
be sick. That was a big selling point for me. Like, hey man, like you're gonna get to play in front of crowds and feel that adrenaline that only so many people in the world get to feel, right? So like that was a big key factor
nice.
for me. Like I'm really excited about that opportunity for sure.
That's incredible. Yeah, and I know, and I don't know, and I want your insight on this too. I know Banana Ball is obviously going to keep expanding throughout the year, but do you see a world? Because I could personally see it, but I'm from the outside looking in, so you might have some more intel on if this is actual reasonable possibility. But could you see Banana Ball going international someday?
Yeah, I can. I can see them starting to play games in other countries, Mexico for sure. I think
Absolutely.
that's definitely a possibility, and I think that this is a strong chance that could happen.
Very cool. Very cool. Because that's something I personally would absolutely love to see Banana Ball do is travel to other countries. Because I mean,
Yeah,
pretty much every other sport is doing it at this point. And if you add Banana Ball in the mix, because I mean, look, and baseball is big in other places too. Like where Otani's from. The MLB plays some of their opening series in those kind of countries as well. So I bet you take a Banana Ball game over there. I mean, that's going to make for an interesting event. So yeah, I would love to see
for
that
sure.
personally.
For sure.
We need
And
a 4 a.m. banana ball game in Japan. I would be willing to wake up for that.
I
I
watch
need
that.
Believe
Look.
me.
a banana ball game. You know,
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Chase.
So I guess my finalizing question is here. Is now that you've been drafted, you're officially part of the banana ball industry. Is there a connection within the industry that you've already made, or anyone else within the industry that you're looking forward to making a connection with?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys in the draft I was close with, like just guys I was going through the process with. Nico Holsizer, former teammate of mine with Tampa Bay for 4 years, I think. I mean, we went through the process. Joe Gray was with me on the Milkmen, one of my favorite
Mm.
teammates, and we were kind of all communicating. And David Griffin, guy, New England pitcher, D3 guy, went pro, got to AAA. Just guys that guys that have been through the grind that I was kind of like talking to. I also played in college with Jackson Olson for a year.
Mm.
And we kind of lost touch over the years. Like I was in the minors, he was doing his thing. And I'm sure we'll reconnect when I get down there. It's like, hey, man, been a while. We're college teammates. And yeah, just guys like that, man. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of new connections, a lot of new friends, new teammates, new stories. So that's what it's about.
Absolutely, man. You're part of a growing industry that's only going to grow more and more each day, man. So we're excited for you. We're rooting for you. We'll be watching you along the way.
Yeah, I
100%.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Eric, thank you so much for coming back on the podcast, especially being one of our first guests we've ever had on. I believe you were our second guest we ever had on.
Second guess. Yep.
So Eric, thank you again so much for taking time out of your day, and congrats on the new venture in Banana Ball.
No problem, man. I appreciate it, man.